Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu to some of you and peace out to the rest of you. Black heart, black mind, sign a black in, shine it again. Hit that share button. The message is more important than I am. I said months ago that Western raving misandric feminists are going to use chat rooms and any other means they can to try to talk to women in other countries and tell them about the third wave feminism and that they were not going to stop at equal rights and justice for women, but they were going to move past that because we can understand equal rights and justice for women ourselves. They're going to move past that and they're going to say to these ladies that they need to learn to hate men, be militant with men, look down on men, demand more of men, offer less to men, in general, just make things as miserable as possible for men. That's what they've said. I'm going to tell you now, I said that I didn't know exactly how long it would take, but they would already start. And that as they perceived that more men were done pursuing and chasing behind the Western B word, that they would do this. I've said this before. Well, guess what? The death of George Floyd has now been utilized to accelerate that process by the Black Lives Matter organization. Now, there's more than one Black Lives Matter organization, to be honest with you. There is the one we know started by three women that are not even into men and a white billionaire. And then there's another one started by a brother in Santa Clarita, California. I've forgotten the difference, the subtle differences in the names. I'm sorry I forgot them, but that's just to be fair. So I'm not trying to blame the brother for anything he did not do and did not promote. But the three African-American ladies backed by George Soros are not our allies. We know this. And I don't make any apologies for saying it. They're going to accelerate this process because, see, George Floyd's death went international like that. The Black Lives Matter hashtag went international like that, in English and in multiple other languages translated. You know what's not going international yet? The knowledge of the red pill. Not that fast. It's there, but it's not moving as quickly. And we need this knowledge to be facilitated and spread not only in first world nations where it's being spread, but we need to go ahead and warn men of the nations in which we may actually find, or which we have found, opportunities for stable heterosexual family life. We need to let Japanese men know that beyond hikikomori and beyond grass eating, that there is actually a body of knowledge that tells them that these women are asking too doggone much and offering too little, demanding that they be Superman while she gets to sit back and be Lois Lane. We need to let them know about this. We also need to let these men in the motherland know what's going on. Because brothers are starting to complain in certain parts of the motherland already about the attitudes that these women are having back home in our home continent. That's bad news for us. What this means is we can't go back home if we want to. So for all this talk about why don't y'all go to Africa if y'all can't deal with black American women? Why, they're too black for you? Well, I mean, no, actually, they're just too American. That's what the problem is, based on what we're hearing. Because, see, the ladies in these nations now are going to hear about, they're going to have the alphabet agenda promoted to them. They're also going to have the third wave feminist misandry promoted to them. And in Africa, they're going to have misandry Mavros. Already it's being promoted to a certain extent. That's why it is that we saw O'Shea do that interview with a guy in Uganda. And what happened? The guy said, look, you go there and you're a white dude, you at the top of the heap. If you're a black man, they're looking for you to own everything. But if you're a white dude, you have your pick. And I'm sure that it's not the same in every part of Africa, but the point is that there are parts like this. That's not black enough for me. I'll just be honest with you. I'd rather go to the DR. Now, I'm a practicing Muslim, but before I go somewhere and try to marry a woman that is going to look at me as being better than other black men because I'm so-called less black, and then catch a real white dude and decide he's better than I am because he's actually really white, before I would settle for something like that, I would go to the DR and trick with no protection and wouldn't pull out. Now, I'm not promoting that. What I'm telling you is that accepting that you are somehow worse than the most oppressive man on the planet is worse to me than tricking with no protection and not pulling out. Because one is taking a risk with yourself, but the other one is accepting an insult and repeating that insult to yourself. Now, others may have a different opinion as to which one is worse, but they're both pretty goddamn bad. However, gentlemen, we need to understand that it is actually in our best interest to let men in other nations know about the red pill awareness that we've got. Let them know. Because you're not necessarily going to ruin things. You're simply going to inoculate them against the feminism. Keep in mind that the laws that favor the ladies in these societies were laws passed by men who did not have the red pill awareness, either because they were passed a long time ago or because they were passed recently, but they were passed by men that did not understand and really thought they were looking out for women's rights. So, no fault divorce. She cheats, she leaves, you still pay alimony and child support, but you don't get to tap that no more. However, if you cheat, she leaves, gets alimony and child support, and you don't get to tap that no more. And of course, the woman with whom you're cheating is going to leave because now your money's going somewhere else in alimony. So you're kind of stuck either way it goes. So it's actually in our best interest to talk to these men in these nations and let them know that their sisters, wives, mothers, daughters, cousins, and aunts and nieces are at some point about to be indoctrinated on chat rooms with not just the notion of equal rights and justice for women, but indoctrinated with a discontent and a misandry that, in the name of equal rights and justice, actually calls for special status. All authority with no responsibility. And it calls for the men to have the responsibility put on their shoulders with no authority. What has worked against black men and has ripped black men and black women asunder in the United States and in Canada and the UK is going to be exported to a bunch of people, black and non-black alike. It's already been talked about in Africa in many cases. A lot of these women in South Africa in these urban areas are becoming bitter pieces of work. This is in South Africa. This is happening. A survey was taken. I don't know how scientific the survey was, but the survey was taken and found that Nigerian women were they were supposedly the most promiscuous on the continent. I don't know how true that is. The survey was taken only of the continent. What I do know is that in Western Europe and in other first world nations, many Nigerian men will tell other African men, if you want a good Nigerian woman, you got to go back to Nigeria and probably not even the big cities and find the good ones. You ain't going to find them in Western Europe, the UK, Canada, the US. And maybe that's true. What I'm simply getting at is that this is going to make its way to corners it is not. Places where we've actually gone and found that we were treated better, they're going to export this. And I can tell you now where they're going to start. They're going to start with DR and Brazil. They're going to start there. And you know what? The same women that'll tell you that those brasileiras and dominicanas are not black enough will be the same women in the chat rooms using Google Translate or having learned Spanish or Portuguese, saying, mi hermana, escúchame. My black, proud sister, listen, you don't have to tolerate this from these low-life, irresponsible niggas. Talking to them with that my black sister stuff. Then turning around telling you, shame on you, because they ain't black enough for you to be going over there and flying out to them and doing anything for them, let alone buying them a stove. No matter how much money they saved you, and no matter how much the stove does not cost, and no matter how empty they kept your nuts while you were there. You shouldn't be doing none of that because they ain't black women. You could have done that for a real sister over here. As if American black women are the blackest in the world. I'm just letting you know, this is real. They are not playing games. I wish, but they're not. They're going to step it up, and the Black Lives Matter organization is going to be a very easy catalyst for this. If they're not funding it themselves, they're going to be an easy catalyst and reference point for this. Gentlemen, go on the offensive before they do. Start letting these gentlemen know in these areas. When you go to these nations, you know, it's actually in your best interest to befriend the men and let them know, look, blood, sir, whether they black or not, and let them know what's going on. When you go to Thailand, tell the Thai men what's about to come down the pike. If you're going to Cambodia or Laos, tell them about it. Tell the men what's about to come down the pike. If you're going into Indonesia or Malaysia or Brunei or Singapore, let them know what's about to come down the pike. If you're going to Brazil, and the red pill knowledge is already it's there available among Brazilian men. Let some of those men know what's about to come down the pike. And if they say, well, Brazilian women are already really bad to us local men, you let them know it's about to get worse. Don't tolerate it. If they're already being bad to you, tolerate even less from them. Don't tolerate it. When you go to Colombia, tell the Colombian men what the game is and what it's about to be. Same in the Dominican Republic. If you're going to Ecuador, let those men know what's about to come down the pipe. If it's Mexico for you, Costa Rica. If you're going to Uganda, let those men know what's about to happen, if it hasn't already started. If it's Tanzania, Kenya, South Africa, Malawi, Ghana, let them know what's happening. Liberia, Sierra Leone, let those men know what's about to come down the pipe. And however bad they tell you that it's gotten already, let them know it's going to be worse. But go on the offensive. Don't wait. Don't do this as a reaction. Do it proactively so that when these ladies go into these chat rooms and they listen to this stuff and then they start trying to roll their neck and snap their fingers at men that didn't do anything wrong to them, then the men will already know, you don't talk to me like that and then turn around and tell me what I have to do for you. No, you don't come to me with the Lois Lane syndrome. If all you are is Lois Lane, all I have to be is Clark Kent. Get out of my face. If I got to be Superman, you better be Wonder Woman. Matter of fact, you better be Superwoman. Shuck that fit. Needing an invisible plane to fly, you better fly like I do. Let them know this. So that when it does start and they start to hear it, they'll know exactly what it is. It's better to tell them and they disbelieve you, and then they know what it is when they see it, than it is to not say anything to them at all, and then they don't know what it is when they see it. They don't know what it is when they hear it. Better to have them disbelieve you today, see it's true tomorrow, and say, oh, okay, now I'm ready for this. Now I know it's true, it's there in front of me, and I'm ready for this. Much better. Because believe you me, Boom Shika, Bonquisha, and Sapphire, along with Becky and Amber, they're already in the chat rooms. They may be looking to Google Translate. They may be trying to learn the languages, but they're already there. They're already getting started. Just thought I'd let you know. That being said, thank you for listening. The blackest of the black, signing black out. Assalamu alaikum, and black male heterosexual power because they don't like it. Oh, and shout out to Obsidian, Black Busted Nuts Matter.